Hey guys, welcome to the start of a new weekly reading vlog. It has just gone 5 p.m. I'm just about to finish editing last week's vlog, which was not very long at all, so it's going to take me probably about 20 minutes just to finish that up. And the reason that I'm doing it right now is because tomorrow I have absolutely nothing that I desperately have to do. Like, I have an unboxing that I could edit, I have videos that I could film, but I can do all that on Wednesday, and as of yet I have not had a single day where there is something that I don't have to do, aside from like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but then I was doing like food prep and cooking a massive meal and things. For a while it wasn't stressful, I didn't do any work or anything like that. There were still things that I was doing, which was more than just laying around doing absolutely nothing. So last week was a wash in terms of reading. I had a fantastic week, not related to not reading, just in general. It was pretty chill, I had a good time. But this week I need to get back at it. So it is the 28th today. I have 4 days left of the month, and I have some pretty lofty goals because I am currently reading Oathbringer Part 1 by Brandon Sanderson. Desperately wanted this done by the month. There's so much that I could have read if I'd have read more last week, but I'm just not mad about it. I'm really just not mad. I'm mad that I'm gonna have loads to read in January, but I'm not mad that I didn't read a lot last week, if that makes sense. But I'm on page 128 of this, haven't read anything yet today, but after I have finished editing, I'm gonna make some food and crack on with this. So this is the first half of the third book in the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. It is the biggest series in the Cosmere, and I am part of a read-along for this series, which was created by Catherine from Catherine Reads and is also co-hosted by myself, Kaz from The Little Book Owl, and also Jade from Jaded Reader. So our live show for this is going to be at least mid-January, I think. We don't have an exact date yet, but I do want to get this done as soon as possible because I also would like to read Dawn Shard, and then I need to read Rhythm of War at some point, like next month, not this month, but like, I don't know, the longer I take to read a single one of these books, the longer it takes me to kind of progress, and there's still quite a lot of content I need to get through on this. If you guys are unfamiliar with the Stormlight Archive, I don't go into big detailed synopses in my vlog just because I am consistently reading something in this series until I'm done. But this is an adult epic high fantasy that follows a group of legendary knights who have to rise up and reform to tackle the oncoming apocalypse. I'm really enjoying it. I haven't not been reading it because I'm not enjoying it. I really am. I just haven't been reading. I do have one other book that I want to try and read. I have a choice of what that book is going to be, but I think it's either going to be Dark Fever by Karen Marie Moning, which was my Inner Circle Patreon book pick for the month, and that one was recommended to me by Linda, or Captive of Wolves by Eva Chase, which is an arc that I have on NetGalley. Both of them are fantasy romance series. Dark Fever is about fae, and I think Captive of Wolves is actually as well. So yeah, I would ideally like to finish this and read one of those before the end of the month, and then I'm gonna have to read the 750 page second half of this next month, which I've shot myself in the foot, but you know, it's all gonna work out in the end. I am pretty confident. So I just thought I would start this week's vlog off before I get lazy and forget to do it, and I'm gonna go and get on with that editing now. I feel like my voice is really weird, but I also don't feel like I've spoken very much today. As I mentioned yesterday, I'm doing pretty much nothing at all today, and it's feeling pretty great. I ordered a book cart on Boxing Day, and I went out briefly for a couple of hours yesterday afternoon, and I believe Curtis was like up in, like, he spends a lot of time on the top floor, which is where his office is. I believe he was up there listening to records, and delivery was attempted, and I'm like, yesterday was the 28th, that is 2-day delivery in the middle of Christmas and bank holidays and all of that stuff. So I'm hoping that that's going to arrive today, in which case I'm going to sort it out. I will show you when it arrives, like what the deal is with that, what I'm doing with it, but it will be pretty much going next to my desk. And one of the reasons is that when I'm working, Hamilton screams at me and he always wants to be near me all the time. Like right now he's here, so the idea is that he will be able to sit in the top compartment and then I have extra storage space in the bottom too. So if that arrives, I'm gonna go and sort out some books and stuff. I've also done a load of laundry and I think that is it for productive stuff. I've played an hour of Final Fantasy 14. I've read 98 pages of Oathbringer Part 1. So much progress has been made on this since I started this vlog yesterday, because I read nearly 100 pages yesterday as well. So I'm now on page 314, so almost 200 pages further than I was yesterday afternoon. It's funny because last night I read more than I read for the entirety of last week. So I'm definitely getting back into the reading groove. I'm also really enjoying this book. I've been told multiple times that this is Dalinar's book, who is one of the main characters who's had, to be fair, all of the character arcs are pretty strong in here, but he is a general. In his youth he was a general. He killed a lot of people in a war, and he's kind of mellowing and becoming more rational in his old age, and being tasked with having to deal with this oncoming apocalypse is presenting challenges to him that he has to react to diplomatically as opposed to like aggressively. He's one of my favorite characters. I really like him. He's very kind of, I don't want to say he's stubborn, but he seems to have very good gut instincts that he does like to follow. Sometimes it doesn't work out for him, but he is also always willing to give people the benefit of the doubt. He tries to do the right thing even if the right thing isn't like so clear cut, and he's not afraid to kind of confront people and things that, given his elevated position in society, you'd think that he wouldn't confront in like the name of the greater good, shall we say. So I am really enjoying that a lot of this book focuses on Dalinar, with the exception of the fact that a lot of it is told in flashbacks. I think I've had 3 or 4 flashback chapters so far, and I'm enjoying them unless they take place during a battle. So as I mentioned, Dalinar killed a whole ton of people during this war, so quite a few of the flashback scenes relate to poignant moments during this war, and Sanderson can write a good battle scene. However, just not in this series. The battle scenes don't really do it for me too well unless the legendary knights are involved. If they're just standard battle scenes, I'm really not interested. Battle scenes in general can be hit or miss with me, but I adore Sanderson's battle scenes in the Mistborn trilogy or the Final Empire, because that's all I've read. I find them so cinematic, and these ones I just find incredibly boring. So that is the one downside of this so far. Aside from that, I am really enjoying it, really sucked in, and excited to continue. For the rest of the day with this one, I'm currently on page 314 and I'm trying to read at least 100 pages a day, but part 1 ends on page 354, which is like 40 pages away from where I am. So I think that that is where I'm aiming to finish this one for today, because last night I did also start Dark Fever by Karen Marie Moning. So the way I'm swinging this is that I'm only allowed to read this if I've already read 100 pages of this in a day. So last night I got to page 28 in here. It is super fast paced so far. Can't really tell you too much about it, but it does follow a woman whose sister is murdered. Her sister is studying in Ireland. The main character is from the US, but her sister's been studying in Ireland. She's murdered and the police have just kind of said, we can't find the killer, so we're dropping the case. So the main character, Mac, is, I think she's 22, and she travels to Ireland to try and find out who killed her sister and discovers the world of the Fae. There are quite a few Irish words in here. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce them because I can't. From the prologue, I believe the main character is kind of like a seer, so she can see through the glamours that the Fae put on themselves, and her sister was very likely the same. I don't know for sure yet. And yeah, it seems that the Fae are the people who killed her sister, or something to do with the Fae is the reason why her sister is dead, and she hates the Fae. But aside from the prologue, there's no mention of her actually knowing about this paranormal Fae world yet. She's literally just seen the first signs of it on page 28. But it is really fast because because the main synopsis of this is that she goes to Ireland to find out who her sister's killer is, and in 28 pages we've gone from her just living her life to finding out her sister is dead to being in Ireland and seeing a fairy in the first 30 pages. So yeah, I'm going to, what am I doing now? I'm going to take a 10-minute break. It's like 4 p.m. Come back and try and read 40 pages of this, I guess. Or am I going to play PlayStation? I don't know. I may play PlayStation. I'm not sure what I'm playing. Maybe Final Fantasy X. 40 pages of this, make food, carry on with this for the rest of the night, and also continue playing PlayStation, and then also doing that book cart stuff if the book cart does arrive. I think do I look like trash? Should have thought about this before I turned my camera on. It is 10:30 a.m. and I woke up at 8:30 because I had to get up early yesterday for my car MOT. I woke up at 7 and wow, no, I do look like trash, oh my god. But I had to get up really early. I got up at 7 a.m. yesterday morning because I had my car MOT at 8:30. If you guys don't know what an MOT is, it is like a check that your car has to pass once a year to make sure that it is roadworthy, like it's safe to drive on roads. Because of COVID, everybody who had the test that was due within pretty much most of last year, they got the certificate extended by 6 months. So instead of having it done in June, which is when it was normally due, or like July, it's due on the 6th of January, which is a terrible time for cars in general because you have things like frost and ice, and my car is like 12 years old, so just generally doesn't run as well in cold weather. And then of course you have Christmas and the fact that like places are closed a lot, there's a lot of bank holidays and stuff like that. So it was a terrible time for me to have my MOT, but I took it yesterday and it failed, which I knew it would because a couple of days ago the brake light came on, which has happened before. I've had that car about 5 years and it is generally the sensors, like there's nothing wrong with my actual brakes, but the brake light came on and my MOT was so early in the morning that I knew there was nothing I could do about it. So I took it, it failed. I had to take my car to my dad's and he is currently fixing it. Actually, I think he's going to collect the part that I need today and it may be fixed by the end of the day, if not by the end of the weekend, at which point I have to then take it back for them to check that that part is all good and pass my MOT. So I woke up early yesterday because of that, which means that I'm also up early today because I've readjusted my sleeping pattern. I woke up at 8:30, finished editing Bookopoly, which I filmed yesterday after I got back. Honestly, I had so much planned for yesterday, and the fact that my car failed its MOT and I then had to go to my dad's, wait for Curtis to pick me up because I didn't have a car. Yeah, I got set back by quite a bit. So Bookopoly is edited and now exported. I have so much that I want to achieve today and I don't know if I'm going to get it done. So I framed these two prints last night, which you will have seen, and oh my god, are they absolutely stunning in these frames. I actually bought this frame and another one for a different print, but I got slightly the wrong size. I thought A4 would be okay, but I need one that's slightly like less long and more wide, so I'll order a couple more frames for those prints. But this one is beautiful and I love it. So later on today I may see if I can hang these. I don't know yet. I might wait until I've got a few more that are framed and ready to add to the print wall before I get on with tackling that. My book cart arrived, so I'm going to be assembling that very soon because I still have quite a few books on the floor here from my Christmas book haul that need a home. I'm actually going to be putting the majority of those on my main shelves, but I have been teasing an unhaul project for you guys. Still not sure exactly how I'm going to do that in the video form, like how I'm going to translate that content to you, but as I need shelf space for all of these new paperbacks I just got, I'm going to be going through my old paperbacks and taking off the books that I think may be part of that unhaul project and putting them on the new cart, because the new cart is going next to my desk and Hamilton will be sitting, hopefully he'll be sitting in the top. Watch me do all this for him and he has absolutely no interest in sitting in my cart at all, in which case I will be slightly annoyed. I also have to set up my spreadsheet for next year, which is pretty much just copying, like making a copy of it, deleting everything. But at the beginning of every year I do tweak the things, remove things I'm not using, add things that I maybe do want to use. So I'd like to do that as well. Possibly film my video that will be going up on, I don't even know what day it is, Saturday I think. Tomorrow is Friday, yeah, Saturday, because I will be doing probably, I don't want to say, because if I take a break, I take a break, but I will be doing a video a day for like the next 8 days or something like that. So maybe film that, and then I also need to set up my 2021 planner, and I was just going to include that in this vlog, but I may make a separate video now. I think I'm going to make sure that everything's already in pencil, because there's a lot already in there in pencil, film it, and see whether it is worth a full video or whether I'll just include it as b-roll with no speaking over the top in this vlog. And then aside from that, I have about 210 pages of Oathbringer Part 1 to read, which I would very much like to get done today, as it is the last day of the year. I mean, it's a tall order because I do read that book quite slowly, but at the same time I am kind of into it. It's just with all of the other plans that I have today, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to complete that. So that is my very large to-do list for today. I kind of wish that I was using my planner at the moment, because I could really do with that hourly breakdown today to keep myself on track. Aside from all of that, the postman called about 30 minutes ago and delivered this, and this is from a publisher. This is from Penguin Random House, and I am like 95% sure that I did not request this. It says on the label what it is, so I know what it is, and it is actually a book that I'm interested in, but I'm still 95% sure that this is not something I requested. And honestly, on the last day of 2020, I finally feel like I've made it, because this is the first book from an actual publisher. Like, I've had one from a self-published author before, but this is the first book from an actual publisher that I've been sent unsolicited. It's one of those things, like, I don't necessarily want everyone to start sending me unsolicited arcs, because if I've not requested them, it means I either don't have time to read them or I'm not interested in them. But it also kind of feels like a rite of passage, you know, to receive your first unsolicited arc. But like I said, this is a book that I was interested in. I was going to request it on NetGalley because I am actually auto approved for Penguin Random House, but I wanted to clear some of the things that I already had on there first, so that my ratio does not become atrocious. So this has not come with a press release, I don't think, unless it's in the book. Oh no, it is in the book, but oh, this is stunning. So this is Malice by Heather Walter. I can't remember, I think that this is a debut, but off the top of my head, what I remember seeing about this is that it is a fairy tale retelling, but I believe that it is queer with a female-female relationship. And is it also from the perspective of the villain? But this proof I will confirm when I read the press release. But this is absolutely stunning. Oh my god, I love this proof copy. It is quite chunky. It's 470 pages, but the text is also quite large, so it's not like gonna be extremely difficult for me to read. And I think that the release date in this is in April. There's a bus outside my window, so my lighting's gone weird. So the press release in here says, "Dear reader, we all know how stories go, right? Once upon a time there was a wicked fairy who cursed a princess to die. This curse can only be broken by true love's kiss. There's a handsome prince and the kingdom lives happily ever after." Utter nonsense. I should know, because I am one such wicked fairy, better known as the Dark Grace. And if life so far has taught me anything, it's that no one in the kingdom of Briar actually cares what happens to our princesses. I thought I didn't care either until I met her. Princess Aurora is so much more than the last heir to the throne. Kind, bold and brave, she is the future queen our realm truly needs. And by some miracle she doesn't care that I'm the Dark Grace, abhorred and feared for the mysterious dark magic that runs in my veins, the same kind of power that threatens to destroy her. With less than a year to go until this curse kills her, she can't stand to kiss yet another insipid prince, and I want to help her. If powers like mine began her curse, perhaps they have the power to lift it, and perhaps together we could forge a new, fairer world. Nonsense again, because we all know how this story ends, don't we? Aurora is the beautiful princess, and I am the villain. Welcome to my story, yours disgracefully, Alice. I'm so excited. Oh my god. So yeah, this seems like a Sleeping Beauty retelling, but the villain is not Maleficent, or maybe she is, because she's Alice, and she's in love with the princess and wants to break The Curse. A darkly magical fairy tale retelling with an empowering queer love story at its heart from an exciting new LGBTQ+ voice in YA/crossover fiction. I'm so excited to read this, guys. So the release date is the 13th of April. So I'm going to try and get this onto my March or April TBR. I have quite a few arcs at the minute, but they are all January. Like, I don't know how I end up with a build-up being released in 1 month. So even though I'm not in the market for new review copies at the moment, I don't currently have anything scheduled in for March, April time. So that is fine. I am thrilled. Thank you so much to Penguin for sending this my way, and I'm very excited to read this. So I am trying to edit my thumbnail for Bookopoly, and this is happening again. Last night when he was on my desk, he deleted all of the things on Photoshop that should go here that hold on my projects. So now I have to Google how to get that back, and I was just trying to make a thumbnail before I assembled my new book cart, but somebody has decided he wants attention and to climb on my desk again. So I guess the thumbnail is on hold, and it's time to build this boy somewhere to sit that isn't right in front of me.
Well, I know how I feel, but I hold my tongue, hold my tongue, hold my She whispered to me in a dream last night, sticking by your side. Got you, but I'll be fine if my dreams don't last, 'cause this too shall pass. It's so true. Miss you the most, pretend that I don't. I just gotta hold my tongue till I get there. Would it make you happier if I told you I was wrong? Well, I know
Hey guys, so first off, Happy New Year. I just wanted to check in and let you guys know that I did not finish Oathbringer last night. I did not read a single page yesterday. As I mentioned I was going to, I did my planner setup, turned it into a full video. Took me 10 hours to make that video, plus a little bit of time today to film an introduction, and I do not regret a second of it. Honestly, that is the most fun I have had making a video in a very long time. I think it was because it was something new. Like, I've never really done a top-down layout before with a voiceover, and it had like multiple elements of voiceover and things as well. Loved the music that I put in it, and it was just a really satisfying therapeutic experience. So I've done no reading. It's now 6 p.m. I haven't read a page today either because I wanted to finish that video, filmed and edited another video, and then I was supposed to be spending the rest of the day working on my 2021 spreadsheet, but then I thought, while you have your makeup on, why don't you film another video? So I filmed another video, and I don't know what to do now. I'm quite happy to continue and now work on my spreadsheet, but I have my December Patreon live show tomorrow, which this time is going to be a drunk live show with Gavin and Ashley, and that is starting at 7 p.m. So I kind of want to go and read, because tomorrow evening is just gonna, I'm just gonna lose it. And then Sunday, hopefully I won't be too hungover. I don't intend to drink as much as I drank for the birthday one, but I may be a tad hungover, so there won't be a lot of productive stuff going on then either. And I do want to film 2 more videos tomorrow before that live show as well, and maybe get one of them edited. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really don't. I just have the urge to keep working on BookTube, which, you know, I enjoy working on BookTube. There are sometimes, as with everything, even when you enjoy something like this, when you put yourself in a schedule, there are times when it becomes quite stressful. There's been times when I don't want to film and I've had to film, and I know you guys will say you don't have to upload all the time on a schedule, but the sad truth about YouTube is that it punishes you if you miss an upload. So I do try to keep to my schedule as much as possible. I think I've skipped maybe 1 or 2 uploads in the entirety of 2020. So yeah, there's been times when I don't particularly want to film, but generally speaking, speaking, I do really enjoy it, even if there's elements I don't enjoy. Like with my entire own TBR, it is tedious to film and it is tedious to edit, but I love the end product. So even when there are elements I don't like, there's usually something about it that I really enjoy. And I'm just riding this wave, you know, I'm really enjoying it, and I don't want to get burnt out. But at the same time, I am somebody who very much does ride waves like this. Like, there'll be periods where I don't want to do anything but this one thing, and I will spend all of my time just doing that one thing until I get bored of it. So yeah, I think I'm actually going to upload to Instagram and then make some food and settle down for the evening, especially as tomorrow evening will be in that live show. But yeah, if I do that, I definitely want to finish Oathbringer Part 1 tonight, because I should have finished it yesterday. I should have really prioritized that, because now it's the first day of the year and I'm already behind on reading. But I'm gonna go and see where the night takes me, and I will let you guys know whenever I do actually finally finish Oathbringer Part 1. I'm really enjoying it, I'm really into it, but I'm just so into doing other stuff that isn't reading right now. So it's now just a little bit past midnight on Sunday, and it took me a grand total of 2 weeks. I have finally finished Oathbringer Part 1 by Brandon Sanderson. I gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. My problem, like the reason it took me so long to read this, is not the book. It was definitely a me thing, because I thoroughly enjoyed this, and obviously this is just like half a book. But if the second half of Oathbringer is anything like the first half, then I do think that this is going to be my favourite installment in the series so far. The setup for the Stormlight Archives is a lot. Like, book 1 has very little magical elements in it at all. It is very much about war and politics. And then in the second book, as one of the prominent main characters, like I'm sure you guys have all heard of Kaladin, even if you don't really know who he is, as he starts to become ingratiated with like different people, different political parties, gets closer to some of the other main characters, then it becomes more interesting, because you can see like the comparison between him and the other characters, and also you are learning a lot more about what I would classify as the more interesting parts of the plot and the world and things like that, because everybody's more or less in the same place. They all have like their own personal kind of like subplots and things going on. Lots of mental health rep in this series as well, but generally speaking, even though they're dealing with other things as well, they're all kind of working towards the same kind of thing. It's all about the same kind of thing as we're going into Words of Radiance. And then by the time we get to Oathbringer, the magic has started to like really be established, and the magic is more present in the story, so the characters are more focused on the magic, like the plot is more focused on the magic, and with every book it just gets more and more interesting. There's a whole lot of mystery in this world when you start off in this series. There's a lot of questions that are unanswered, even where I'm up to, and how many pages in am I now? Like 2,600 pages ish, I want to say. I'm not sure exactly how many pages are in each book, but yeah, I'm about 2,500 2,600 pages into this series, and there's still a whole lot I don't know, and Brandon Sanderson is revealing stuff all the time. We had some really cool reveals towards the end of this, like all throughout really. There's little bits scattered everywhere, as well as like points of action, and then there's quite a lot of character development, quite a lot of slow moments. As I've mentioned, this does focus a lot on Dalinar, who is one of my favourite characters. I'm interested to see how he's going to progress through the rest of this, with it being like his book, and I'm hoping that everything works out alright, because with it being Brandon Sanderson and with it being such a long series, I am expecting throughout the course of the series, like 4 books have been published, and I don't even know what the deal is in the later book yet, or the rest of this book, but I do anticipate like big major character deaths and revelations, possibly some betrayals. I'm even starting to see amongst some of the main characters that not all of them may end up on the side of good, and people will end up on the side of good that you don't expect. So I do have all of that to come, and I do think it's going to be really impactful by the time I get to anything super dramatic like that, because like I said, I'm 2,500 pages into this series already, and I'm only 3.5 books deep into a 10-book series. So yeah, 5 stars to this. My first read of 2021, which I did not anticipate. I really did think I was going to be done with this by the end of 2020, but oh well. I had my Patreon drunk live show with Gavin and Ashley last night, and oh my god, was it funny as usual. I did drink quite a bit, but when I drink spirits and I just stick to one spirit, I don't get too hungover. So I've been okay today, but I've just kind of been taking it easy, because I still have like the slight after effects of dehydration, I want to say. Like, I didn't sleep very much as well, because the live show ended at 4 and I stayed up talking with Gavin Ash until like 5:30, and then I woke up at around 11:30 I think, so I didn't have like a full night's sleep, so I have been tired. My throat, as you may be able to tell, is slightly croaky, and I've just had the like kind of overly acidic stomach kind of feel, but I've had no nausea, no headaches or anything. I drank a lot of water before I went to bed to kind of sort that out, because I did want to read a lot today, and saying that I've only read 130 pages. Played Fortnite with Curtis and Ryan for a little while, and I've also played about an hour and a half of Final Fantasy 14, and that's pretty much been my day. So yeah, I didn't do much today. It was one of my days off. If you've seen my 2021 planner setup, you'll know that days off is something that I want to prioritize in 2021, and making sure I'm just making time for myself and just spending time doing pretty much nothing. So that is about it for this week's vlog, guys. I know last week I said that I was going to be bringing you some more book content, and at least I have finished a book, but sadly it was not as much book content as I would have liked. Pretty soon I am going to be going into the second half of this. There is a couple of things I'd like to read before, or just one book that I would like to read before I dive into the second half of this, so it looks like we're going to be going with slow progress throughout the beginning of January. But I'm hoping that I will settle into reading more, because like I said, the problem with me taking so long to read this wasn't the book, it was definitely me. So hopefully it won't take me as long to read part 2, because I do have a little bit of a hefty TBR for the first month of the year, and like there's nothing worse, I can't think of anything worse than falling behind in the first month of the year. That would just be tragic. So that is it for this week's vlog. I hope you guys have enjoyed it if you've made it this far. If you have, please don't forget to like if you liked it, and subscribe if you wanna, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.